The Hype Komodo stood unopposed in the PWF, having secured the Rumble Crown and Tag Championships alongside his partner, Holy Cheems. With the crowd behind him, he had secured his spot in PWF Immortality as a unified Rumble Tag Champion. His next night of competition would be marked with failure, however. Not only did the Hype Komodo lose both championships, but was ambushed once again by the imposter alongside his worst enemy, Humco Black. In addition to this, his partner, the prior undisputed champion Holy Cheems, was able to secure victory over him through a calculated series of ringouts. With Cheems standing once again as the PWS Rumble King and Bastard Sword standing as the tag champions, the future of the fledgling wrestling league is uncertain. Latino Heat stands unable to secure a championship, and the Neo Wyverns continue to struggle through the ranks. With Cheems as the five-time champion, the competitiveness of the league is at a crucial tipping point, with many wondering if he can ever be kept out of contention for the championship. Meanwhile, others like Ivy Snore or Ginger Giant have struggled to recapture their past glories. Their next chance would come on a fateful night, a Thursday night Throwdown on July 10, 2025. This would be their next chance to choose their own fate.
Hello, PWF fans, and welcome. I am your intrepid host, the Ginger Giant, wishing you a good day and a night of sensational action. We are starting off with a few more singles matches compared to usual, if I have the count right, which I sometimes don't. It is 9 matches on the card for tonight, counting the tag struggle. And we may not have recaps made for every week, but the one you just saw was edited in the style of Tekken 4, which has some of my favorite intros in video games, and that was my attempt at it. We have Ivy Snore spamming the chat, and the question is, can Cheems be dethroned? Will he be dethroned ever? Will we ever escape this pit of misery? Well, we will have to see. Also, Bastard Sword reigns as the tag champions. Jimmy and Humco Black took it last week. It is a reign, an era of darkness, and on top of this, we will be having an introduction to a new wrestler later in the night with the first tag match we have. That should be around the 5th match. We have a thrilling night of action for all you folks. But for any friends watching currently, I know people are a little shy, but if you want to hop on the Discord, I'm on there for commentary. If not, it is absolutely fine. But we are going to make our way forward and start the action off. Not with Bird versus Jimmy. Jimmy's feeling a little high on himself. He had the words to say to me. He said, "I'm too good for the Bird-Jimmy match after winning last week." I think he forgot that he has 7 in the L column so far, and he's just clawing his way out of that deficit with 2 victories and 1 tie so far. So, we will not see another Bird-Jimmy series, much to Bird's chagrin. I'm sure he would like his chance for revenge. Instead, we will see a conflict between co-workers, between enterprise teams. It is Bird versus Abram. So without further ado, folks, thank you for your patience. We are going to get this night going. Alright, so I've received word that the contestants are making their way to the ring, and we will be there to join them shortly. Actually, there seems to have been a mistake with wardrobe. We're getting that sorted out. Like always, we're a very professional league here at the PWF. Alright, I've received word that everything is set to go. And making his way to the ring, one of the only entrances I've received a copyright claim on. It seems versions of Bird are absolutely cursed in regards to that. Proudly wearing his Neo Wyverns shirt, hoping that team in general is hoping to have a bit more success this week. So he makes his way to the ring. A C and a wave of red that his wife would very much not approve of. A very quick edit to the ring this week. We already had the canvas made. Why make a new one? So we scribbled some parts out there. And making his way to the ring. Trying his luck at singles competition this week. The Team Latino Heat will not be appearing in the race for the tag championship later in the night. Instead, Juan has gone to parts unknown, presumably to train, but we'll have to see what it's like when he comes back to this league. As always, Vegeta, our ever-helpful ref. And now, also in honor of our champion Cheems, he's a big Linkin Park fan, and so in honor of him, it will be 8-bit renditions of 3 Linkin Park songs for the the fighting music today. And he lands some savage knuckles on the corner to start things off. But I've heard whoever wins this match gets to give each other shit at work tomorrow, as tomorrow is a Friday. Also, a big thanks to anyone in chat who turned out for a Thursday broadcast. It is unusual, but like I tried to say on our Snapchat, I will be unavailable this Saturday, so I wanted to fit in that broadcast because I didn't want to leave it with more than 2 weeks gap. And he lands an energy barrage! That has to be devastating to Bird. Can he do the purple proud? We will have to see as we make our way through this match. A nice kick to the shin, a punch. He's controlling space a little better. Ooh, nice tripping kick there. Ooh, and the knuckles sandwich lays him out. And Bird, he is a fan of the overhead right. Trying to get a bit of an advantage on him, but he's shaking off Abram with what looks like a mule kick. Proudly bearing his Guadalajara fandom. Proudly wearing the colors of his team, which looks like a team from rural Massachusetts. And he goes to the mat. But yes, folks, we will be seeing, I think I count 4 singles matches today. Actually, it looks like it is 3. Yes, 3 singles matches, 4 tag matches, and then the Rumble. So that'll actually be 8 tonight, so I did miscount earlier. Hey, I'm a history major, not a math major. But we do have an introduction for our new wrestler filmed. You will see that before his first match tonight. He's actually going to be my new tag partner. That is right. After leaving the Wyverns, I have found a new person to proudly call partner. And they will be making their appearance here tonight. So hope you look forward to that. Hope you're as proud of them as I am. But we will see how that goes. Alright, making their way around the ring. Nothing definitive yet. Oh, nice jab there. Both of them spacing out. I don't think they want to tire out. Both of them want a spot in that Rumble. Ivy Snore, feel free to give your guesses, but yes, who could this wrestler be? On Bird going for the pin. He only gets to the count of 1. It is not far enough in the match yet. But fortunately for all of our singles competitors, as far as who appears in the Rumble, whoever makes it to the tag final, Jimmy and Humco Black have already earned a spot. It is not the beautiful hands man, Ivy, but that is a good guess. Although that would be hilarious if I had his audio over the promo. But Jimmy and Humco Black have been guaranteed a spot in the Rumble, being the tag champs for the week. But whoever makes it to that final match with them, whether they win or not, they will also proceed to the Rumble. So that's 4 spots guaranteed right there. And the winner of each of these singles matches will also get a spot. So whoever wins this match here automatically gets to go to the Rumble. Whether it's Bird or Abram, one of them will be seen in the Rumble later tonight. And Bird is tossed out, but not in the technical fashion that leads to a ring out, because it is a very specific maneuver that leads to a ring out, per the newer rules. Bird off the ropes, and he lands a nice straight. Oh, but he's hit by the genocide cutter. That's a devastating maneuver. He can't take too many of those. And an arcing wheel kick, putting those soccer skills to work. And he stomps on him, turns him over, goes for the pin. Is that enough? Dragging him to the center of the ring. It was not indeed enough. Picks him up, doing a muscle pose. Sweeping kick. Power slams him down, picks him up. Lands the headshot again. I think that's the 2nd time this match. Trying to disable his neck and legs. You need those. Oh, but a stiff breeze is enough to send him down, apparently. And an arcing body dive. That looks painful to execute. And a stomp. Can he get the pin? Ivy Snore saying to twist his dick in the chat. He only gets to the count of 2. Listen, Bird versus Jimmy may be one of the most historic rivalries in this short-lived league so far. But these two, I can tell you, when it comes to matters of competition, they don't like each other. And now we're at the count of 2. And they're in a striking contest. He lands a straight butt. Abram will win out on the exchange with an arcing kick. And he misses the stomp, though. Nice flash punch combo from Bird, but he's tired. Look at him. Just his body posture. Oh, and before he can land a shot, he is kicked out of it. What a counter. Bitch slapped of a Rapuken. Oh, and a Vegeta combo. Abram is going ham. Arcing wheel kick. Sends him to the ground. But Bird reverses it. He sends him into a pin. But it will only get to the count of 2. What maneuvering. That was a good sequence of strikes. Bird managing to break out of it. And now he's being wheel kicked again. Double elbow sends him careening to the mat. Bird just trying to maintain his stamina. Hopefully this doesn't bode for how the Neo Wyverns will do in their tag match. But we will have to see. They're hungry for it, but will that lead to actual success? Some teams in this league, like Latino Heat, you know, they try and they try. Never quite able to clinch the tag title. But Latino Heat, always solid competitors. That's almost what makes them all depressing. And he is thrown out! Abram has secured his spot in the Rumble. You will see this man again. The only question is, will he get the crown tonight? So, Bird's only chance to make it to the final in that case will be if the Neo Wyverns win. And it is a poor start for for this tag team. Yes, Abram tossed him like a pancake. Or one of those pizza dough crusts, like before it's cooked, that they do in like Italian places. Well, he will not be the only Neo Wyvern to get his shot tonight. This next match is one between two that I do not believe have fought outside of the Rumble before, and they're going to fight to see who has the right to bear the purple colors more. It is going to be Ivy Snore versus a bit of an evil opponent, but we will see how this goes. So, first things first, folks, we are going to have them enter the ring. First off, making his way to the ring, a man beset in this league, just as beset as I am, although his losing streak has lasted longer. He's had a couple chances in the Rumble, looking for that crown tonight that he has not tasted since the first 2 weeks. The original double champion has had no luck since then, but as he lands the crotch chops, he is going to war. Yes, Ivy, I don't think you've had a singles match since you fought Zack, with how far back that was, but another opponent to try to prove that he deserves to wear the purple mantle. It is El Puta, it is Wawan, making his way to the ring in his Waluigi attire, just to mock the Wyverns as he flips him the bird. Normally in his Wario attire this week, he wanted to send a message. It is the war for the warrior clad in purple. The Violet Strikers, the Indigo Knights. What else can you say about Wahuan that hasn't already been said? I believe the first unified PWF champ, we'll have to look in the record books, but he was a unified PWF champ. James and Humko were not the only ones to have that honor. Juan has always struggled in this league, but Wahuan, he has had a very successful career, probably the most successful out of all of the evil characters that we have here, all of our Dark Reflections. Wahuan is probably the only one who's actually outshined his counterpart. But as this starts up, both of the purple pugilists making their way into the center of the ring. Wahuan landing the giant swing, trying to make him hurl and tap, but he is not so easily broken. He's like a shonen protagonist. Yes, Ivy, I believe the count was him and El Supremo had 7 tag championships in a row, the most dominant tag force in the entire PWF. It was absolutely devastating. And an arm grapple attempted to be landed. Now they're in a striking contest. Ivy Snore is sent down, but not without cost, as Wahuan tumbles to the mat out of exhaustion. Another giant swing, a nice combo, but that shove! Ivy Snore using those Virtua Fighter skills, putting them to the test. Unfortunately, I have not found Sarah Bryant moves to give him yet, so for now, it's Akira moves, because those are probably the most recognizable. He runs to the ropes, lands a good clothesline, and he lands the Whirligig taunt. Another shove from the shoulder. Ivy's looking in good form out there today. Oh, but the Mario jump into the pin, but he will get no count for it. Looks like he was trying to set up a running maneuver, but Ivy broke out of the corner before he could do anything, and an elbow drop for good measure. And that's how he's chosen to say hi. But some chops to the neck send him to the mat. That's a brutal maneuver from Juan. Now Juan's starting to change the momentum. He's getting a bit of success in there. Oh, and he lands his face on the rope. What a dirty maneuver. A judo throw into a pin, and he will only get to the count of 1. Our shonen protagonist has some fire tonight. Ivy, he just wants a spot in that Rumble, a chance to prove himself again. Luckily, he will have 2 chances tonight. Bird already wasted his first chance, but Ivy will be able to secure a spot in the Rumble either if he makes it to the tag final or if he can win this match. But as he's triple power-bombed, that possibility seems to be slipping a bit. All but landing some Chun-Li kicks. That is a well-timed maneuver. Just needs to find some offensive rhythm. And a flying body splash into a pin. What a beautiful maneuver. It may have only led to a count of 2, but that's about as good a maneuver as we have seen in this league, folks. And the war to pin. No! He's thrown out! Out of nowhere! Well, Ivy Snore will have a chance in the tag matches later, but a brutal elimination in singles competition from Juan. His mocking adoption of the purple, an insult to the way of life for the Wyverns itself. We'll have to just hope that they've been working on their teamwork more than their singles skills, because that was a brutal double elimination, I tell you what. With that, Juan and Abram have both guaranteed themselves a spot in the final. We will have to see how that goes for them. That's the nice thing about the Rumble. It is the ultimate equalizer. Except when James is involved, in which case it seems to power him up. All right, and moving our way on to the next opponent, or the next match, I should say. A bit of an inverse of last match, but we are going to see how this goes. We will see if they have a bit more success than the poor Wyverns have so far. And first making his way to the ring, a very familiar face in the PWF, one of its most stalwart competitors in his, 4 forms, something like that. But it is Humko, making his way to the ring. Not a hype Komodo in sight so far. We will have to see if he's just saving the hype for the tag championship after being brutally eliminated in 2 matches last week. Lost the tag belt and the Rumble King belt. But making his way to the ring, returning from parts unknown, we have not seen this competitor in a while. It is Juan, bearing his Mario costume. We can only hope he makes his way to the final to face Juan. You love to see a good rivalry. Those two have not gotten many chances to see each other, but with both members of Latino Heat trying their luck in singles competition, it only made sense that he'd find himself in this ring here tonight. Alright, trying some kind of maneuver, and it is easily shirked off. Elbow to the ground. Of course, Humko, some of the best energy blasts and high-flying maneuvers in the PWF, but Juan is desperate for a win, and his strikes have been savage. The main question has just been one of stamina, of keeping the gas in the tank, because Juan, he's almost like a hypercar. He moves, and he can put on a hell of a show, but don't put him up and next against a sedan in an endurance race. Do you get what I'm saying? Probably not, but that's the metaphor I choose to go with. And again, because I am professional enough that I do not know how to program it yet, I will go ahead and post our question of the day. We've had, it looks like we have 4 viewers. Ivy Snore has been very active in chat. But for any watching, what is your, I do not mean to be negative here, but what is your least favorite video game that you have actually beaten? Because I was thinking about it, and I still really like the game. I've not beaten very many I did not like. But one thing that came to mind, purely because of the ending, was Far Cry 5. I loved the open world stuff, did not care for the story, and everything about the ending of that, yeah, I did not enjoy it. So, story of that one, I was glad to be done and just have the open world open to me. But yeah, that was a bit of a slog towards the end. I was not happy with anything I was playing at the end. Although I'm sure if I went through my catalog, I could easily find something that I had less fun with. Probably as a kid, as Humko lands a flying Kyo Kusanagi uppercut. Grappling sends him into the ropes, and a bitch slap. He shares that move with Abram. Yeah, Ivy, I was wondering if you would say Pokemon Conquest. I was wondering if you had something else. But, yeah, that makes sense. Alright, he is sent into the ropes. They are both squaring up with each other. Devastating crack shoot landed by Humko. Runs to the ropes. Nice backflip kick. He usually goes for 2 of those in a row. So I'm surprised he moved in for a different maneuver. While Juan going for the stretch wrestling. I don't know if he's trying to get a submission, but we're all shonen protagonists here. So I don't know how he expects that to work out, especially as Humko lands a triple Argentine backbreaker. Another backflip kick. He tries for a swinging roundhouse. It doesn't quite connect. And Juan lands a flying knee, but there's that stamina problem we were talking about. He runs a mile a minute. And a lot of times that's what gets him in trouble in these matches. Oddly enough, a problem that Juan seems to have less trouble with, I think because he's secured more ring outs. I don't know if it's just a difference in strategy or what's going on with these two halves. But as he lands a Naori ground bounce combo, Humko has put himself back in this match. He reverses the Irish whip, although now he's having stamina problems. Yeah, both of them looking a little woozy there. We'll have to see who's able to secure the advantage in this. And a flying body splash from Humko. Proudly bearing his Cruz Azul jersey. I'll have to hope that they do well in the opening of Mexican League this weekend. Because God knows St. Louis isn't going to do it. And he's thrown out in a reversal of fortunes from Juan's match. Once again, Juan achieving some measure of success, but Humko taking the advantage in that regard. It is uncanny. Never has an evil counterpart had so much more success. It is inexplicable. But with that, Humko secures it with the ring out. We will have to see. Maybe we should change that rule. Maybe it's leading to a bit too much chaos. Of course, we prefer a bit more brain rot in our league. But, yeah, bodies are flying, Ivy Snore. But, folks, with that, we are making our way to the tag division next. And what that means is that it is time to be introduced to our new wrestler. So, folks, I hope you are excited because I had a lot of fun creating this promo, as well as my new partner. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest entrant to the PWF world.
Commissioner Giant realized that Cheems had won the Rumble Crown 5 times. Everyone else in the PWF had won twice at most, and the Commissioner struggled with this realization. With this newfound discovery, Giant endeavored to create a partner that would allow him to work in perfect sync. This could only be done with the field of robotics, as his prior partner Ivy Snore had proven to the Commissioner that friendship was insufficient. Perfection was needed. To reach this goal, the Ginger Giant created Gingerbot, a highly advanced learning robot. Within the bowels of his own living room, his project was completed, and the Gingerbot was successfully delivered. With the Gingerbot completed, all that remained was to provide it with combat data. To do this, the Giant began the process of having Gingerbot watch every PWF podcast, but its homework is incomplete. In addition, Ginger Giant also had the robot sample a number of his own fighting techniques. Together, they would form the new tag team Big Business, and would make their debut at the July 10th Thursday Night Throwdown.
That's right, folks. I made my own partner. I was tired of friendship. It wasn't doing anything for me. And if this is any indication, I don't know if it'll do anything for anyone tonight. But whoever wins this next match, there's nowhere to go but up for him. The more data he analyzes, the stronger he will become. become, and the more moves he will assimilate. Yes, Ivy Snore, it is just like real steel. But he doesn't just mimic me, he mimics all of us! The more moves he sees, the more his move list grows. I built him in a living room out of a box of scraps. And folks, if you would like to see that promo again, because I had a ton of fun making it, it will be on the YouTube playlist that is linked on the main Twitch page, twitch.tv/GingerGiant645, and it will lead right to that playlist. But he will be making his debut tonight, and what better first opponent than the team I used to call home? Yes, our first tag match will be Big Business versus the Neo Wyverns. So, without further ado, let us begin. And there my partner stands, and we both make our way to the ring. Man's best friend, my own creation. Watch him mimic my movements. I do my arm raise, he makes his way to the ring, and in perfect unison. And now making their way to the ring, my old tag partner and his new tag partner when I departed the team because it was not working out for either of us. He has tried to find success with the Neo Wyverns. Ivy Snore begging them to do anything. So we will see. If I set the rules right, it should be elimination. So it should be even if someone is thrown out or like pinned, the other partner will tag in to fill in for them. Unless I screwed up with telling Vegeta over there. But we've had very few... Well, actually, that's not true. We've had matches switch. So, first off, it will be my old partner versus my new one. Gingerbot getting kicked in the shins to rein in his first PWF debut. But he lands a solid punch, sends him into the ropes. And again, the beautiful thing is, the more he fights Ivy Snore, the more of his moves he will memorize. His homework is not complete. He only has some moves from the rest of us. But the more that he sees everyone else in the league fight, the more powerful he will become. I can only hope that his behavioral programming holds and that he does not betray me. Oh, that was a good move from Bird. I'll have to give him that. Yes, Ginger Giant. Come on for your honor. Yes, with the haircut. I needed to update it because having the promo, then having me with the beard would have been a little weird. I have to say, Neo Wyvern's doing a decent job so far. Ooh, and another punch combo. Alright. And he is sent out of the ring, but fortunately that does not mean he is out because he was not technically thrown out. Contest of strength, he is sent to the mat. Flying elbow, one of my favorite maneuvers that doesn't ever seem to do anything. And a sure you can. Are you watching Gingerbot? You need to know that one. And Gingerbot is tagged in. He is facing Bird. Man to bot. And yes, folks, Ginger is an acronym. It actually is an acronym. Ginger is not merely something to make him in my image, though that certainly did work out. He is a genetically integrated grapple electronic robot. Ooh, but Bird lands a Mortal Kombat uppercut. That looks devastating. Oh, Ivy Snore is already crapping on my new partner. You had your chance! We tried to make it work as a tag team, and it wasn't good for us. But again, we're trying to move in a more professional direction, or at least I am. As the commissioner of the league, is it not? Am I not entitled to the sweat of my brow? And I am sent to the mat as soon as I make that comment, but luckily he only gets the count of one. 2 Alexes in the ring. Never mind. As Ivy enters the ring. Ooh, but that Mishima uppercut. I've been doing some training of my own, sir. Oh, and he is kicked out of the ring! That was a solid kick. I'll have to see if he can learn that too. Oh, and a flying body splash makes it to the count of 2. That was a good kick. Bird goes for the pin. Gets the count of 1. But of course, I think this speaks to the professionalism of our wrestlers. Gingerbot is made of 100% stainless steel alloy. It's the fact that people are kicking and punching him and just withstanding the impact. It's a testament to the standard of the wrestlers that we hire in this league. They're the best in the universe. If you put these up against any wrestlers from any other leagues, they would just melt instantly. There's a stomp. He's elbowed to the ground. I go for a running maneuver, and the elbow drop that never seems to do anything. Ooh, that headbutt. A surprisingly bloodless broadcast so far, I do have to say. Normally, well, we'll see. Normally, when James is involved, that's when the plasma starts to flow onto that ring mat. But so far, a very bloodless evening as Gingerbot is tagged in, and he is power slammed for good measure, or body slammed. The power slam would be if he ran into it. Takes him to the ground. Mounted punches. Oh, mounted punches as he rains blows on Ivy Snore, but he breaks out of it. Gingerbot sent into the corner. Oh, and a counter punch. But Lugia! Lugia's appearing! Ivy's talking to him! He has the power! He takes the punches and he channels it into an almighty shove and a wheel kick. Will Lugia's guidance be what Ivy Snore needed? No, he eats a series of punches! Just like I taught him! And I am elbowed in the face and immediately kicked. Ooh, but a good uppercut. Oh, is it? It was not an Atomic Buster, and no sooner did I say there's been a lack of blood. We have blood in the ring, folks. Ivy Snore is the first to bleed tonight. As I am bent over the knee. Bird going for the force choke as Vegeta tries to get him to stop. It is technically an illegal maneuver. Don't ask what counts for that. People much smarter than me come up with the lists. And I am sent tumbling to the mat. Bird going for his trademark punches. Gingerbot is tagged in. And a lightning uppercut copied from Humco is landed. He goes into the ropes. And a sweeping series. And that goes into a pin. But only gets to a 2.9. It will not avail him today. He runs again. Misses the maneuver. Still some bugs to be worked out in the system. He was built in a lonely living room. Oh! Okay, I wondered if that was... It's weird. There's a little pause that happens when it's like an official ring out, but it is too damn close to call sometimes. Luckily, Vegeta has a very sharp eye. And as Ivy Snore's booed away, he lands a knee, and he will not receive a response. He lands the elbow. As Gingerbot goes back to the ring. More elbow drops. Again, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that elbow drops seem to be the most useless maneuver in the entire PWF. It never works. And Bird is thrown out! It is a 2-on-1 match! Can Ivy Snore mount the comeback? It has happened before. A reminder, Jimmy did it. Jimmy reversed the fortunes of an entire match previously. It can happen. And Gingerbot is tossed out! Could he be mounting a comeback? He lands the Shippu Jinrai. He's on the mic. But a flaming Shoryuken is landed. Elbow drop. The Shin Shoryuken is landed. Tekken uppercut. The Giant refusing to go for the pin, and he is kicked out of the ring. It is 1v1. Bird and the Gingerbot are both out. And he will advance! The Neo Wyverns will do it, finally tasting any measure of success. They have finally done something. This does not guarantee them a spot in the final, but it does guarantee them the chance. We still have some bugs to work out in the system. Gingerbot is not yet complete, but there were some nice 5-punch combos in there that we will be adding to his moveset, so look forward to that. But with that, it means we will move on to the next stage of the competition. But yeah, nothing's ever amazing on a beta test. We will just have to see how this goes. But we are going to see the return of a tag team that has not appeared in a couple of broadcasts, but I think everyone here will know them pretty well, and we will actually see the appearance of our Rumble King, because his team will be aiming for a spot atop the tag empire of the PWF. So, folks, I hope that you are ready. Yes, Ivy Snore, good game. This will not be the last time you see me. And that Portuguese Vegeta laughter only means one thing. It is El Supremo. And yes, Wahuan also entering in the tag division. Will they replicate their reign of terror, or will it end here in the first round? It is very curious. We will have to see what comes of this. And entering, they have been the tag champions twice in only 3 weeks. An unprecedented level of success for how new they are. Although, Los Supremos, they definitely have the advantage, but it is the Rumble King and the man who lost it all. It is Cheems and the Hype Komodo making their way to that ring. As the Hype Komodo gets ready to try to reverse his fortunes from last week. And Cheems readies up. Now, Animal Kingdom, I actually can't remember if they have ever faced Los Supremos before. I don't think that they have. So they may never have faced a tag team of this caliber. It was decided that they would take a break for a couple weeks after securing so many tag championships. But yes, I think Ivy Snore was starting to realize, as he says, oh no, the perfect tag team. I think he's starting to realize that this means, in the next round, he will either face Animal Kingdom or Los Supremos. Neither will be an easy match. Alright, and he goes for the double leg pin. Tries to go for a sumo chop. Doing fairly well against Wahuan. Sent into the ropes. And he Mario jumps right over him. I do not care that you are built different, he says. He leaps the bounds. And he can't even get to a count of 1. He is trying to pin way too early. Then again, that may be the cause of some of Cheem's success, but all that weight is bounced onto the rope! Juan makes it to a count of 1, but he is body slammed for good measure. And they both make the tag. El Supremo versus Hype Komodo is the power of the people against a type of power I will not say live on air. But he also knows some King of Fighters maneuvers. We have a couple students of the old school as he lands a devastating grapple. Not able to secure the running maneuver, however. And a kick to the shin sends him to the mat. He goes for the pin. Only gets to the count of 1. It is far too early in this match. Vegeta checking if they want to give up. And neither of them do. Another flying backbreaker. Trying to break Hype Komodo's neck, but you know, it's all backed up with reptilian DNA. Flying body splash. He gets the count of 2, so it's not for lack of trying. And Cheems is bearing the Rumble King belt as he tries to show El Supremo what for. He's sent careening into the mat. Slaps him upside the head, but a spinning lariat. And a shove. And the dreaded sit pin. He makes it to 2.9. El Supremo's in trouble out there. Oh, and Cheems is trying to grapple him outside the ring. El Supremo reverses it, though. That was not a wise move on James' part, as now he's in the submission. Striking contest. Can anyone stop this dog? The answer seeming to be no. He lands on him. He tags in the Komodo. And he is kneed in the face immediately upon his entry to the ring. That is not a kind welcome. And he runs and executes a devastating combo. Juan trying to end this early. He sends it to a count of 1. Again, trying to mess with El Supremo as he makes the tag. Animal Kingdom, they're playing a little dirty today. Rams his face into the post. Runs at him. Lands a devastating... Oh, and he jabs him on the way down. That was a brutal combo. Gets them to the count of 2. They're slowly wearing them down. As a reminder, Cheems got to the count of 2.9 with the dreaded sit pin that has felled so many wrestlers in this league. He is not successful with the throw out. I think that's the only throw out we've had that was unsuccessful this entire broadcast. And he gets ready. He goes for the sit pin. He only gets the count of 2. El Supremo is not as worn out as his partner was. He Mario jumps, goes for the pin. Gets the count of 2. Folks, we may have a championship level match here, as neither is wanting to give an inch. He is sent in for a brutal clothesline, and Juan has the giant swing turned on him. But he holds on and does not puke. He is sent into the corner, and a kick reversal is a bit of a reversal of fortune. Flying knee, trying to wear him down. Ah, but James just picks him up over his head like a rag doll. James' stamina, though, he was breathing heavy for a bit there, as he has Mario jumped over. Oh, and the final Atomic Buster is landed! Juan goes for the pin. Almost out, he gets to the count of 2.9, but that hurt him. James is hurt. El Supremo not taking kindly to the Komodo, following him over to the other end of the ring. And he will be thrown out! It is Juan's turn. Can he reverse their fortunes? El Supremo is out. They're both in the ring. Animal Kingdom already putting on a strong show. Spinning pile driver. Mario jump into a pin. He only gets to 2.9. And he lands the hypest combo. Hype Komodo's doing everything right. If he lands a body splash into a pin or tags his partner in, that's also a good call. He's had time to rest. He is not successful in throwing him out. He could have ended the match right there. Sends him to the mat. Is not looking good for Los Supremos, the most dominant team in PWF history. Is this a signal of the new breed? 1, 2. He only gets to the count of 2. The longer Juan is in there, the worse this gets. He needs to end this soon. And he will get the pin! It is him versus Hype Komodo, but he is thrown out! It will not matter! Animal Kingdom will make it to the semi-final. Animal Kingdom will face the Neo Wyverns to see who gets to face Bastard Sword for the Tag Championship. Los Supremos, this is an upset. Yeah, I gotta say, I think this has been a night of surprises. I don't know if I could have called any of the winners here tonight, except for maybe Juan versus Ivy, but if he makes it to the tag final, then we are officially doubling up as far as entrants go. Alright, it is time. This will be the true test for the Neo Wyverns. Can they actually get a successful match to their name? And now we cut to ringside. We've already seen the entrances. It is Ivy versus Cheems. This is a struggle of PWF royalty. Used to be me, Ivy, and Cheems were tied for most Rumble King crowns at 2 each. and Cheems has long since shot into the stratosphere. Ivy crying for the Wyverns to show the world what they've got, although Ivy, technically, they already did what you wanted, where they did something. They won a match. So they've technically already fulfilled your only request for the night. So we'll see how this goes. So far, Bird, definitely the weak link in this tag team, at least in their tag performances. Can he improve in terms of his performance? Both of them facing off. Again, a battle of purple tonight. This has been a night laden with violet warriors of yore. And he lands that devastating Balrog combo again. Kicks him in the nuts for good measure. The only non-evil wrestler to really engage in that kind of maneuver. And he's fighting Hype Komodo, and he's fighting him pretty fiercely. Doing much better than against Cheems. And something's off with Hype Komodo. He is not putting in the performance that he normally does since last week. Granted, last week, it was the result of a bastard ambush. But now as they line up for a striking contest, I'm feeling some momentum behind Bird here. And yet he continues the assault. I think he's trying to prove that he is worthwhile to this team and that they can make it work as he tags in his partner. I think that's a good call. We are starting to see the momentum reverse a bit, but Bird got some good strikes in. If Ivy can continue that momentum, he might be able to make it to the final to face Bastard Sword. And Cheems is tagged in. Can he execute? Luckily, Cheems is not the unified champion this week, though. Only Rumble King. He did not win the tag championship last time. And Bird with a knee, trying to reverse his fortunes. Normally, Cheems has his number. He's sent into the post. Cheems looks like he considered running at him for a bit and then decided against it, and now he is the one to land mounted punches. Picks him up. Devastating headbutt. Hits him in the nuts again. He wants him to stay down. And again with that. Well, you know, it is a saying, dates more back to boxing, but kill the body and the head will die. Although he's attacking everything as he lands a Dempsey roll combo. Hype Komodo counters him, trying to get any momentum going. Oh, but he is Mortal Kombat uppercutted right out of that momentum. Bird has been a force this match. And he Mortal Kombat uppercuts him again. He is definitely trying to show what he is worth. Almost adopting a Wah-Huan strategy. Go 500 miles an hour, and then go to the stop to refuel. Let his partner fill in some of that offense there. Bird putting in a much stronger showing this match than he did the last. Ivy is tumbled over. Hype Komodo is breathing fire, but it fails to land. And Cheems throws him out, but it does not count as a ring out. It was not the official maneuver, so Ivy is spared a pretty miserable fate right there. He's chopped to the ground, though. And clotheslined. He goes from the top rope. This is not looking good. He's shoved. Ivy finally manages a spin kick. He tags Bird in. And Bird immediately taking revenge for his partner. Lands another combo. He's been getting a good string of those this event. He is stomped. Komodo sends him to the corner. And he executes the 619, a maneuver I have not seen him do in many matches. But with that dynamic, high-flying, he's taking a bit of the wind out of Bird's sails. Will it mean that he wins the striking contest, though? No, it will not. Again, putting his boxing to good use. Bird is trying to show them that his striking is not something to be underestimated. And he tags an Ivy Snore, as again, Bird's strategy seems to be to go all out and explode. He goes off the ropes! Ivy executes a high-flying maneuver, the likes of which we have only seen, I think, 3 of in the entirety of this league. That was a dynamite maneuver for the crowd. Unfortunately, he's able to shake it off, get back in the ring there. And he answers Sheems with a shove. He is tired of his bullshit. Tries to make him tap, but it will not work. Laying some good strikes, but that butt stomp, it is dreaded. The league over. Sheems kicks him to the ground. It's not even the Rumble yet. And he lands the Bustard Sword, just trying to get him to stay down. And he lands the dreaded butt pin. Will it claim another victim? Almost. And he hangs on. Ivy attempted the throw-out maneuver, but being built different makes it tough. But Bird lands the headshot. Bird tries it. Not able to throw him out. Sheems not able to succeed either. Sheems throws him like a ragdoll. Shoves him. Bird's lost some of his offensive momentum, but he lands a headshot again. I think if he goes for a pin, he might be able to get it. Takes him to the ground, punching him. He wants to take this to the corner. Reversal. Hype Komodo is tagged in. This does not seem to be a match that's going to end anytime soon. No one wants to give this up, but the Komodo is tossed out. Sheems is tossed out! The Neo Wyverns make it to the final, which means they will both make it to the Rumble, regardless if they win or not. So, Ivy, you will get your chance later this evening. And they finally achieve some measure of success. Yeah, he was showing off those guns. But of course, folks, you know what that means. It is time for them to face a team that is made of pure evil. A team that secured victory last week. It is time for the tag final.
It's a bit normal.
A reminder that all 4 competitors you see have secured a spot in the Rumble. It's just a matter of seeing who wins the championships now, as they taunted the crowd. The most evil tag team we have had, even counting Los Supremos, has entered the ring. It is BS. It is Bastard Sword. Can the Neo Wyverns complete the first championship run in their team's history? The question stands. Ivy is sent into the ropes. Are they too worn down by the constant combat of the night, or can they finally put together a campaign that will let them lift some hardware at the end of this night? Some body slams, nothing excessively out of the ordinary yet, but you can't help but feel an air of unease. Since I don't know if anyone could call the way that the tag division went last week, with Bastard Sword being able to secure it. Humco Black and Jimmy, a more deadly duo than anyone would have imagined. Of course, these two, classic rivalry. As Bird faces him, looking to achieve some measure of success after his loss to Abram earlier tonight, which means he will see Abram again in the Rumble. Also, folks, it is official. With the way that tonight has gone, we will have our first 8-man Rumble in a while. We will have a packed field today, and we will have to see who is able to win this thing. But first, I may be getting a bit ahead of myself, because we have not even decided the tag belt yet. Bird and Humco Black facing each other. Bird eats an elbow. They're in a striking contest. Oof, and a Spirit Palm sends Ivy to the ground, but he kicks out of it. Ivy sent into the ropes, but nothing comes of it. Humco Black uncharacteristically getting a lot out of the body slam tonight. Ivy goes to the top ropes, but he decides against it. Tries an arcing heel kick. Humco Black tries an aerial maneuver. It fails. Counter punch. It's not the flashiest match we've ever put on, but there's some technical skill, some wizardry going on here. Oh, but with Bird and Jimmy, it always becomes an all-out war. Yep, and he lands the mounted punches. Oh, and he slaps him like he owes him money. And he is body slammed onto the mat. All that offensive momentum they showed against Animal Kingdom, Bird hasn't been able to put it together yet. He's not had the same series of combos. He looks to be back in old form, which is not good news for the Neo Wyverns, the way that their competition has gone. Ivy able to rejuvenate their momentum a bit with a well-placed shove. And a good uppercut is landed. Ivy's picked up. They're both outside the ring, and they're staying out for a very long length of time. But he makes it back. There will be no ring out, at least this minute. Arcing kick, but he does not go down. Backbreaker is landed. Some high-flying kicks from Humco Black. Again, a lot of good flying backbreakers today. Bird versus Jimmy once again. Don't ask me how that eye poke works when he's wearing a helmet. Oh, and he kicks him right in the nuts. To kick a man in the balls and go right for the pin, that is an evil maneuver. A double punch and a palm sends him to the mat. Bird not able to get any offense going, and as I say that, he silences me with an uppercut. Gets him to the count of 2. Whatever strategy they're doing may be working, but it's still anyone's match. Oh, and he gets to 2.9. I may have spoke too soon. Bastard Sword might be wearing them down, folks. Sends him into the mat. Back to his corner. They engage in a kicking contest, neither man giving an inch, and they both collapse to the mat. Running clothesline. Buster Sword sends him down. Ivy choosing not to go for the pin, and it will cost him as he eats a black Kamehameha. And he's woozy. They both hit the tag. Jimmy continuing to go for the low blow. For some reason, Bird seems to have saved all of his for Cheems, but it's understandable with how dominant Cheems has been. If there's one wrestler to do that against, it might be prescient to use it for practicality and not hatred. He goes for the pin, but Jimmy only gets to the count of 2. Bird won't give in that easily to probably his most hated competitor in the entire thing. Jimmy tries to toss him out, but is unsuccessful. You know he's going to try it again, though. Bird landing the shotgun taunt. And he unloads his buckshot as he unloads a series of punches onto Jimmy's face. And he goes for the ring out again. It will not work again. You have to wonder how long he can hold on, though. Oh, and he's kicking Ivy Snore in the balls now. It is reversed. Ivy trying to make him submit. He taps! It is now 2-on-1. Neo Wyverns have a shot to win it, but Humco almost gets him out. Shoryuken from Ivy Snore. Almost sends him out, but he manages to hold on. You know he'll try it again. Ivy unable to clinch it. 100 slaps as Humco Black tries to act like he's not even bothered. And Ivy tags in his partner. It was not an official ring out. It was a different maneuver. Almost thought it was over with that one. Triple backbreaker. That's not good. Some of the only ring outs we've ever had have come from that maneuver. They're both standing out there. Can Humco Black keep him out? Or can Bird reverse it? Will he get wrung out? It's getting close! Makes it to the count of 17. And he lands the BFG Buster! And kicks him in the face while he's down for good measure. But he will be thrown out. It is Ivy versus Humco Black. He lands the Shippu Genrai. Is this the reversal of fortunes that they need? He's kicked to the ground. Humco Black to the top rope. If he had gone for a pin, that could have been the end of it. Two who desperately want it. Will evil prevail again, or will the Neo Wyverns secure a tag championship for the first time in the Wyverns' history? Elbowed, Ivy on the mic. Another kicking contest. Ivy reverses into a knee, but he eats a wheel kick in response. And yet Ivy's the first one up. Again with the Jinrai kick. Humco Black is up. Double axe handle sends him to the ground. Elbow drop. It's anyone's match. They're both tired beyond measure. As Humco Black is sent careening to the mat of one punch. Ivy is in the corner. Humco Black setting up for a maneuver. Will he land it? No, he will not. Ivy at the top rope. Humco Black gets up, and nothing will come of it. Ivy is out! Bastard Sword are double champions! No! The Wyverns unsuccessful again in this league. The tag champion will not change this week. This is a reign of darkness. Riding that momentum so high, and yet nothing came of it. Well, folks, this is not the outcome I think that anyone wanted for tonight, but that is the way it goes. This is, contrary to what some said early in our league's history, it is not a rigged league because it can't be. You cannot put a lid on the talent that we have here. But with that, it is time for what is consistently the most batshit insane match every single night that we have it. It is time for the Rumble. And, folks, we have a stacked series of wrestlers tonight. Like I said, this is the first 8-person Rumble that we have had in quite a while. Just so happened we didn't have any overlap. We didn't have anyone doubling up. So, it is time. I am curious to see how this match is going to go. I think the worst outcome possible is that Jimmy or Humco Black gets it. Actually, no. The worst outcome is that James wins. That is the worst. That is the worst future. Anything but that. But folks, I hope that you are ready, because it is time for the Rumble. And with that, we have a new song that we will have playing during the match. It is another 8-bit Linkin Park reference. This one will be One Step Closer, because this match brings one step closer to greatness. Are you ready, folks? I know I sure am. Ring outs still apply. Who will be the Rumble King this match? I will fall a bit silent on commentating for a bit. The Wyverns have already started tearing each other apart with that loss. We have 2 Humcos, 2 Birds, counting Jimmy, 1 Cheems, and 1 Abram, and 1 Wahuan. And yes, Ivy, purple has absolutely flooded the ring today. And folks, I would commentate more, but this madness, there's no constraining it. There's no isolating it. There is nothing that can be done but to watch. They're kicked away. Elbows, running, flying, people running into each other, mounted punches, knees. It is the chaos that we have come to expect from the PWF Rumble. Strikes aplenty here. The only question is who will win it, and please, dear God, don't let it be Cheems. I'll take Jimmy as a unified champion before I see Cheems win that crown again. But you know how this league goes for your commissioner. I build a robot, he fails in his debut. I fail in our debut. But like I said, he's a learning machine. The more data he consumes, the stronger he will become. Still absolute chaos. No one eliminated yet. Not much to comment on until someone is. And an elimination can come at any moment. Abram and Jimmy both teaming up to release a merciless beatdown on James. I don't know why anyone goes for a submission attempt that's not Jimmy. He's the only one I noticed that really consistently gives up. But as we've seen tonight, James can be defeated. So we'll have to just see how this ends up. Question is, will the champion be purple? Statistically, there's a 1 in 2 chance of it happening. Mortal Kombat uppercut landed on Humco. That move has become a highlight of Bird's arsenal. Humco not quite thrown out. Again, Wahuan really wants him out, and Humco will Kamehameha him in response. Uh-oh, Wahuan's got a hammer. Who will be the unfortunate victim? It will be Bird. Got some action outside the ring. Abram and Humco Black fighting. Makes sense. Abram just trying to get him to stay down. We have blood in the ring. Abram, will he get wrung out? He will! Abram is wrung out! It is the second time he has, and I believe the third time in PWF history. Abram is officially the unluckiest wrestler in terms of ring outs in the entire PWF. That is his second ring out, and the first ring out was him ringing out Bird. And with that, his chances of having any championship this week will be dashed. Bird almost thrown out by Jimmy, who has gotten green goop spat onto him. I believe by Wahuan, he engages in that kind of maneuvering. Wahuan, uncharacteristically, I've never seen him use the fork stab. And James is bleeding also. And the sea of purple continues to grow relative to the rest of it. Humco and Ivy going at it. Oh, Humco eliminated. James eliminated! We will have a new champion this week! And Ivy almost throws out his own partner. He's looking tired. Jimmy's out! It is down to 4, 3 of them purple. Who will win it this week? Bird not able to be thrown out. He is working hard to keep himself in there. Ivy repeatedly trying to throw his own partner out of the ring. And a 2.9 pin. Wahuan will not be counted out yet. Bird trying to crick his neck. And for all of his partner's attempts to throw him out, Bird kicks his partner right in the nuts. Wahuan needs a devastating combo as Bird goes into a BFG buster on Humco Black. Ivy will not win it this week. And for all those attempts to throw him out, Bird says, "No you, sir." Wahuan goes for the pin. It will not reach the count of 3. Humco Black shakes it off. And Bird is thrown out, but there's not a ring out. And no, Wahuan goes for the pin, but Vegeta's distracted because Bird won't leave the outside of the ring. Wahuan continuing to try to spit green goop. Will he taste his 3rd championship? Will it be Bird that joins the 3-champion club? He is holding on for dear life as every wrestler wants to throw him out of that ring. And he will not have it today! Evil will win this week whatever happens. The only question is, will Humco Black win his first? Or will it be Wahuan? Sent into the ropes, both of them squaring up, not able to land a strike. And a Galactica Phantom landed. Eerily similar to Hype Komodo's victory over Juan a few broadcasts ago. Humco Black made him break because of the ropes. We need to update Vegeta. I got rid of that rule. But regardless, that means he will not be able to secure it. Yes, Ivy Snore, an evil cloud has formed in the arena. Humco Black, again with the rope break! He holds on. While Juan not giving up. Humco Black takes him to the ropes, not able to throw him out either. Taken to the ground. Another body splash broken up, while Juan is using those ropes to his advantage. He's woozy. But he's taken to the ground. Humco Black with a kick. While Juan reverses it. Neither of them are giving up. And Humco Black should probably stop using that flying butt stomp, because it works for Cheems. It's not working for him. Oh, why didn't he go into the pin? He finally might have had a chance outside of the ropes. A running power bomb. 2 power bombs. 3. But he's tired. Humco Black is the unified champion! For the first time in PWF history, he is the Rumble King, and he is a unified champion. I cannot believe it, folks. I would not have counted him to get it from a mile away, but thank God it is not Cheems again. He will not taste victory again. And Humco Black next week, he will not bear that tag belt, even though it will technically be his. He will bear my face on the belt, as you have seen so many times. Yeah, that belt right there. You will see that around the waist of Humco Black, along with the Rumble King crown. The evil of anime has won. And folks, we have our reporters live on the scene to get a word from the new double champion to see what he might do with his winnings. So live from the stadium, Humco Black himself.
Yo, Humco, what do you think of the poor people?
Fuck the poor people!
Well, his words have not changed. His thoughts have indeed not changed at all. So, Humco Black, a unified champion. We've had a string of those lately. Last week we didn't, but in the last 4 PWF broadcasts, counting this one, we've had 3 win the tag belt and the Rumble King crown. It has been unprecedented. So folks, thank you to everyone who showed up, and a special thank you to Ivy Snore, who was not only the only one to actually be in the text chat, but was exceedingly active the entire time with spamming GIFs and commenting on the goings-on. So, thank you, my friend. Best of luck to you on your FF10 episode tomorrow. I will try to see if I can hop on to text something into the chat, but I'll be unavailable for voice commentary. So you enjoy the end of that game. It is an ending that, I will say ahead of time, that game made me cry, because I was, I think, 8 the first time I saw my mom beat it, and it made me cry like a little kid, because I was. And you will understand what I mean when you get to it. So, folks, thank you so much for turning out. This will be added to the VOD list, as will the Gingerbot promo, which will be uploaded shortly after this. The video is actually technically already ready. It just needs to be posted. So, to everyone who showed up, thank you so much. Have yourselves a great Friday and a great weekend after that. And to the PWF Nation, I wish you a good night, a good weekend, and thank you so much for coming out here.